Hey everyone, this is Mike, and yesterday was the fateful day that I would finally wear the black robes again and played some Black Mage. On one hand, it's something that I've been looking forward to for quite some time, since after we cleared Alexander Ultimate, I went back in on Black Mage to kind of practice there, get used to the job, which is definitely not the environment to do that, by the way. And then, of course, I was going to be playing it for this tier. Took a little while to get my weapon, but I got it last week. So basically from this week onwards, if you end up joining the stream when I'm doing my weeklies, you'll end up seeing me playing Black Mage quite a bit going forward. So it's something that in one hand I've been looking forward to for like the last 6 weeks almost, but on the other hand it's also been something that I've been a little bit scared of, because for some reason it's still stuck in my head that Black Mage is this caster that wants to just sit in their ley lines and cast some fire and not move all that much. But of course, going into Shadowbringers, Black Mage just got so much quality of life changes, especially when it comes down to movement as well, with having the Xenoglossies, having the extra proc a minute because of the shorter cooldown on Sharpcast now. So if you're somebody like me that has played Black Mage before, but that is still kind of stuck in the mentality of it not being a very mobile caster, which granted, if you compare it to something like a Red Mage or a Summoner, it isn't. But on the other hand, if you compare it to, for example, let's say a White Mage, it is a whole lot more mobile than a White Mage. So it's something that I'm just gonna have to get used to, kind of have to get it out of my head. But on the other hand, me playing it in Savage now for like a good while at least is going to also make it so that I'm gonna be much more comfortable on the job. And that's why one of the reasons that I think playing in a static environment is something that is really healthy for people to try and improve their gameplay. When it comes down to me, when I like to compare Savage, like when you do Savage in a static or a Party Finder environment, there's going to be very big differences, and for a couple of different reasons. So for example, last year I played pretty much all of it in Party Finder for Eden's Gate, and I was playing tank back then. Now, depending on which group I would join, I would either be playing Warrior or Gunbreaker. It would depending on which tank they had. In one group I would be main tank, in the other I would be off tank. One group you did a certain mechanic this way, the other did it another way, and a third group might have done it yet a different way. So basically there was a lot of things I would constantly have to relearn, and then I would have to focus more on doing the mechanics in the way that the party wants to do them, rather than focus on what I am doing myself to try and improve my personal game. So playing in a static environment, I think, is a really good way for you to improve at the game, because your mechanics are always going to stay the same. You're always going to be in the same position, you're going to do the same movement, and you're going to handle the mechanics in the same way every single week, unless of course you decide to change strategies. But let's just say that you basically keep everything the same, then you're able to get a lot more practice on them. The mechanics themselves will basically resolve themselves because you're so used to doing it, and then you can just focus on improving yourself quite a bit. And I think for me with Black Mage, that's going to be something very important, because of course you aren't as mobile as something like a Summoner or a Red Mage, which I have played for the last 5 weeks. So now I have to kind of try and figure out where I can stand still a little bit more, or where I need to save my movement abilities. When we went into 5 to 7, it was actually relatively fine, I would say. I actually beat my Summoner parts by so much on E6 for some reason. I don't know why. I guess Black Mage is just really strong and it kind of clicked. But yeah, basically it's just me trying to figure out those things. Where can I put my ley lines? When should I do something in a certain way or something like that? On Shiva, I think the optimization is going to be a little bit harder, because Shiva is just very busy fight. There's a lot of mechanics going on, and you definitely don't have that much time to just stand still and cast. So I'll have to wait and see how that all is going to be working out. Of course, we didn't end up clearing Shiva yesterday, which is kind of unfortunate, but on the other hand, I kind of saw it coming, because yesterday was a really bad raid day for us. I don't know why. I guess people were just tired or something like that. Or maybe that's also one of the drawbacks of only raiding like once or twice a week. It's that people kind of lose like memory of the fight, I guess you could say, kind of forget certain mechanics or what they were supposed to do or something like that. And then me being on a new job, trying to like figure things out, definitely not helped that either. So we're hopefully going to be clearing that tonight, or either tomorrow. I'm not quite sure when we're going back in. I think it's tonight, but it kind of depends if people are available, yes or no. We'll have to wait and see for that. Basically, if you see a message tonight that I'm live on Twitch with some Savage Savage reclears, then you'll know it'd be tonight. But basically, trying to get Shiva done still. That's the only fight that I haven't done yet. And then of course, moving into the next weeks, it's just all going to be about optimizing my play, because I do really think that Black Mage has a decent amount of optimization going on. depending on like what procs you get and such as well. That's the only thing that I'm not a huge fan of with this job, is that it's very proc reliant. when it comes down to their movement, because of course all of your procs are instant cast, and depending on what procs you get, you might like extend your fire phase by 1 GCD, and it can kind of like get wonky like that. So it's something that I'll have to really get used to, because of course I just played Summoner for 4 weeks, which is a very static job. There's basically no real RNG involved with it, or actually like no RNG at all. The only RNG you could get is if you accidentally ghost an action or something like that, but that shouldn't necessarily happen all that much. So, but on the other hand, Black Mage has actually been treating me really well. When it came down to E5, I think I did relatively okay. For E6, I got a really great run. For 7, there were still some things that I'll need to change, not only my personal play, but also when it comes down to the way that we handle mechanics as a group to kind of cater towards me a little bit more. Because of course Black Mage might be a lot more mobile now, it's still definitely not as mobile as a Summoner or a Red Mage. So we're going to be changing. I think it's only the last phase really that needs changing. Because right now we're making it so that healers grab first, melee DPS second, and then ranged take last. And when I was on Summoner and Red Mage, that wasn't really an issue because I was a lot more mobile than I am now. So basically we're just gonna change it that I am grabbing the second orb now, and then I can just stand there and cast away without needing to worry about going forward to grab that third one. So a small change there. And then of course when it comes down to Shiva, there's still a couple of things that I need to work out, mainly like where I should use my ley lines. And depending on, like for example, the mirror mechanic in the second phase as well, where it's all of the gaze mirrors, kind of need to figure out some stuff there as well, because I'm going to be doing it a lot different right now than I did it back on Summoner, mainly because ley lines are coming up there as well, and I kind of need to figure out how I'm kind of gonna do that mechanic. But I already have kind of an idea, which I tried yesterday, and it kind of worked in the last time that we did it, so hopefully tomorrow or tonight I'll be able to cleanly execute that mechanic as well. And then Isolate Dragon Song is another one that might be a little bit of a challenge for me, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna try maybe save some Xenoglossies, see if I don't try to not forget to keep my triple cast ready and my sharp cast as well for that. And then I think that should be pretty decent to kind of get that done. So those are kind of like the things that I'm still thinking about, what need changing when it comes down to this raid tier. Of course, I only got a couple of runs in, like on Ramuh we wiped quite a bit, because for some reason Ramuh is the bane of my static. Don't know why. But for the other two fights, like of course 6 and 7, didn't get that many pulls in. Like I think 6 we did in 2 pulls. 7, did we one-shot it? No, I think it took us like 2 pulls as well. So like, it went really fast, didn't really have that much time to just get used to the job, but that's also why I am really excited about just playing it for the next few weeks, because then I am able to optimize my gameplay a lot more. And to me personally, it doesn't really matter what job that I'm playing. If I get the time to optimize my gameplay on the job, it's always a lot of fun, because it's basically just new experiences and you're constantly learning. It's one of the things that I enjoy so much about Final Fantasy XIV, and that is that even though you are doing the same fight over and over again, if you're doing it on a different job, you have a new opportunity to learn. Not only learn to handle the mechanics in a different way, because for example right now I need to save, for example, instant casts, swift cast, triple cast, procs, that kind of stuff, for certain movement parts of a mechanic. Or then for example like the mirrors I just talked about, trying to figure out a new way to do them so that I can stay in my ley lines more often, or that I have a better placement for my ley lines, that kind of stuff. So getting on a new job in a Savage that you've done like for a few weeks now is still going to be a new experience, and a new learning experience is always fun. For me, I'm somebody that loves to learn, not necessarily when it comes down to like going to school and learning stuff there, but when it comes down to like acquiring a new skill set or learning a new game. For example, One Step from Eden came out yesterday as well, which I'm going to be playing a bunch. So basically just acquiring a new skill set, learning new things, having new experiences. Even though it might be the same fight, it is a different job and it plays very different from the other two as well. So there are a lot of different things that I'm going to be paying attention to, which basically just keeps the game fresh for me and keeps me interested in playing it as well. So basically that's kind of going to be it for me. Black Mage is something that if you end up joining the streams, whenever I'm doing my re-clears, you're going to be seeing a whole lot more now. Of course I do have a Twitch, so link is in the description. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. Black Mage, I really looked forward to playing it. Actually really enjoyed it last night, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting some more playtime on it as well. But that's all I wanted to talk about for today. I want to thank you for watching, I want to thank my patrons for supporting me, and I'll see you in the next one.